That was the prettiest fish I think I've ever got. So the earliest I can ever remember going fishing with my dad is definitely when I was probably like 4 or 5, and we'd go out brim fishing, and we'd go out and we would just catch a million brim, and it was the most fun thing ever. And we'd take them home and we'd cook them, and we'd just throw them out there with a little cork and go to the gas station and we'd get some crickets, or we'd go get some worms. And I remember being so sad for the crickets. But they caught fish, so I really didn't care in the end, I guess. So I've grown up fishing conventional tackle, and when I worked in book publishing in New York City, a friend knew that I liked fishing, and she gave me this book, and it was all about fly fishing and fly tying specifically. It's called The Feather Thief. And I thought it was the most fascinating book I'd ever read. It's all about these like exotic materials used for fly tying, just the difficulty that goes into the sport, and I thought, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. Like, I've got to try this. This morning I'm going to tie a turkey feather wet fly using the feathers of my first turkey that I killed this spring with my dad. So I'll be using the turkey feather as a tail and as the wings for this fly. And then the rest of it will be partridge feather. And that is turkey feather wet fly. We've got turkey feather used as the tail back here, partridge used as body, and then, I don't know if you can see, but these little wings right here, these little guys, are also turkey feather. So this is gonna catch a big trout today. I'm calling it. Fly fishing is, it's so much more rewarding for me because I feel like I'm using my materials to tie the flies. Like the huge fish I caught just down there earlier today, I tied with some turkey tail feathers that I shot earlier this spring, and it just really is cool to make that like full circle moment of, oh, and then I put that fly together, and then I just caught this huge fish. It was just an unreal moment. I got a big old rainbow trout on a turkey wet fly that I tied this morning. Oh. And for me, I just love the sport that comes with, you know, the art of the cast and fighting the fish on the line, and you can just feel the fight a lot more. And I love creating my flies, and I think it's just such an art form, the whole sport. I will conventional, you know, fish all day long, especially when it calls for it. But if I can, I will use a fly rod to catch redfish, trout, bass, whatever it may be, and have the best time doing it. For me, it's just been a totally different experience from regular fishing, and it has really opened my eyes to a whole different sport, a whole different aspect of the sport.
I got a black heart, I got a lost mind, trying to find the truth inside these white lies. But I'm not a soldier, always be AWOL, hiding myself behind these brick walls. So everybody run away, 'cause the judgment's coming and we can't be saved. Set me on fire.
I told my dad that I was really getting into fly fishing and I really wanted to try it out. So being the awesome, you know, supportive guy he is, he found this place, Headwaters on the Soque, and we came here and we had just the best time in the world. And I really learned from Mr. George how to fly fish and how to roll cast and mend my line and, you know, of course, set the hook. And so he taught me all the basics. Mr. George did, the guy, you know, the guy we were fishing with today. And it's really cool because I feel like every time I come back, I've improved a little bit, and You know, we still come here probably twice a year, and every time I've had some new flies for the trip, and it's just been a really magical place. And so Mr. George, he's always willing to stop, give me a lesson when I need it, correct me when I need correcting. And I mean, he's fully the reason that I can go out in Tennessee by myself and catch some by myself, because you know, he's taught me all the basics, and I've seen him, you know, the depth he ties on flies and all that stuff. So he's been great, and this is really just a magical place. I mean, you can see it's just full of amazing trout, and they're so willing to eat, and it's just a beautiful place. So it's such a great thing for dads to take their kids fishing, and I can't thank my dad enough for instilling this love of the sport in me and introducing it to me at a young age, and you know, teaching me how to tie a knot and put a cricket on the end of my line. And it's led me to here. You know, I'm 26 and I'm still obsessed with it, and I'm in love with it. And you know, I've kind of gone all the way from cricket fishing to fly fishing, and you know, I just really can't thank my dad enough for instilling that love and that passion in me. I'm Jessi Cole, and I'm definitely in my element when I'm fly fishing.